Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm here to bring you another EFC 24/7 news report this evening. Some transfer news coming out of Everton. Obviously, with the window having just opened, there's quite a bit of news coming out, so I'll bring you what's being said today. Not too much, but there's a fair bit to look at, so let's get straight to it. Alan Myers has come out and I said that Manchester United are monitoring Lille defender Gabriel Magalhaes. I'm sure you know who I'm on about, even if I haven't pronounced the second name right. Gabriel is a centre-back who's been linked with Everton throughout for several months, really, and I've brought him up in pretty much every one of these news reports in the evening. So, apparently Manchester United are muscling in now, as well as Everton, obviously Napoli and PSG are also looking to sign the highly rated centre-back. So, there's a lot of interest around the player, and he's pretty much informed the club, Lille, that he's leaving this summer, but he's not decided on where he is to go. I would be surprised if he joined Everton amid interest from clubs such as those that I've mentioned. But before the coronavirus crisis, it did seem we had a deal pretty much agreed with the player. And it would be pretty Everton-like if the player were to move somewhere else after that was agreed. So, or reportedly agreed. But yeah, he's assessing his options ahead of a likely move away from Lille this summer. But Everton are still in there, so we never know whether he'll come to the Blues to get more game time ahead of what he might get at some of those other clubs. You never know. So we're still in the hunt. But yeah, Alan Myers says Manchester United have weighed in on the player as well. So some more interest in the player, unfortunately, but yeah, we'll never know. One confirmed move today to do with Everton is Kieran Dowell, who has moved to Norwich City on a permanent deal. Obviously been at Everton through the academy. He was showing some first-team prospects, really. There was one time where it looked like he was going to be the backup number 10 to Gylfi Sigurdsson when Marco Silva was giving him a good go in pre-season a year or two ago, but it doesn't seem to be the case anymore, obviously, because he's joined Norwich City for a fee likely to be somewhere between about $1.5 million. There's no undisclosed fee at the moment, but that's what we believe it should be. Something to do with it's a 3-year deal. So yeah, he's had a few loans in the Championship over the last few years. Did well with Nottingham Forest, and then he joined a couple of other clubs. He was a bit part player with Sheffield United in the promotion season. He went to Derby, struggled last season. I've been keeping tabs on him, obviously, in the loan reports. Shout out to the loan reports if you fancy giving them a read every week. Have a look how Everton's loan players are getting on. But yeah, he was pulled from his Derby loan because he wasn't getting enough game time, and he went out to Wigan, where he had a bright couple of games, got injured just before the lockdown. He came back after the lockdown. He played really well, and obviously scored a hat-trick in the thrashing Hull City. So, promising player at Championship level, but whether he would have made it at Premier League level is a completely different kettle of fish. So, Everton have let him go. So, yeah, let us know what you think of that decision, really, because I'm not sure if it's a little bit ruthless in the way they let him go before, because he's a player that we've been growing out in the Championship with a potential view to come into the first team, so to let him go on a permanent, as we did with Anthony Robinson, the left back, before he was linked with AC Milan. He nearly moved there in January. So whether we're letting our young players go too easily is a point that could be made. Some more news that will move on. Mundo Deportivo, which is a Barcelona-based outlet, have reported that Everton and West Ham are both in talks with Barcelona over the transfer for former Middlesbrough striker Martin Braithwaite, with the fee that Barcelona want believed to be around €18 million. Weird one, this, because he joined Barca after the injury to Ousmane Dembele, because La Liga rules indicate that you're allowed to go and sign a replacement, a emergency replacement, if there is a serious injury of about 6 months or more to one of your players. And Dembele was injured for about 6 months, so Barca swooped in on Leganés striker Braithwaite, and they pretty much need him to have any chance of staying up. They ended up getting just about relegated on the last day, despite holding Real Madrid to a draw. But no, he's done all right since he's joined Barca, which was a big task, really. He got the mick taken out of him when he first joined, because he messed up a few keepy-ups on his first. He was told to juggle in front of the crowd on his reveal, and he messed that up a little bit. But since he's been playing for Barca, he's done quite well. So it looks like they're looking to recoup their fee, potentially generating interest around the player from reportedly Everton and West Ham, but I'm not sure how much is in that. But yeah, some more news from Sport, which is a Bosnian sports site, believe it or not. Bournemouth are showing serious interest in Mohamed Besic, who's just spent the season on loan at Sheffield United. Didn't get many opportunities really. He had a little spell in the first team just before the arrival of Sander Berge, and when Berge came in, it was kind of the end of things for Besic. So yeah, we're looking to recoup some of the fee we paid for him, which was about 3.5 million when he came from Ferencváros all those years ago, and Everton are looking to recoup about the same fee, because he's still potentially a Premier League player. Whether he'd strengthen Everton's midfield at the moment, which is very weak, is a case to argue. I know a lot of fans are arguing that that would weaken the club, but yeah, there's a case to be made. But yeah, that's the interest from potentially Bournemouth, who've obviously just been relegated. Some more transfer news though, from Il Mattino in Italy. Jeremy Boga, who one of the other lads told you about a few days ago, was said to be favouring a move to Napoli as he wants to stay in Serie A. He's playing for Sassuolo at the moment, and he's been linked with a £35 million move to Everton. But yeah, it appears to be favouring Napoli, staying in Serie A, which can't blame him, to be fair. Obviously a young developing player, but Everton's chances seem to have been dashed by Carlo Ancelotti's former club. So yeah, Carlo Ancelotti spoke out today as well, a bit more on Kean, and claiming the Everton striker will be in for more game time next season, which is promising. Obviously, he got that start in the last day of the season ahead of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who hasn't scored in quite a few games. So yeah, he said, of course, he is a player we need to give support to because he's young. He came here from Italy, so it was a new adaptation for him, a new country. Also, he was alone during the lockdown, and it was not an easy period for him. But this season can give him more experience and more knowledge. He will be better and play more next season. He's obviously still a young player, so his chances of getting in the team will increase as he gets used to the league, really. And now he looks really bright and exciting on the ball. His close control is quite impressive, what he can do in a small space, but his overall awareness of what's around him probably needs to improve, and that'll come with team chemistry, obviously knowing his teammates a little bit better. So yeah, that'll come. He's a player to look forward to seeing the best of, because we haven't seen the best of him yet, but we hopefully will soon. So yeah, that's pretty much all the news coming out of Everton today. So yeah, let us know what you think of the rumours and what you think of Kieran Dowell. Obviously exiting the club as well.